a great rivalry is a great rivalry in September. One of baseball's best rivalries is front and center this weekend as the Cardinals travel to Wrigley to take on the Cubs. The division title on the line. For Chicago, it's the usual suspects: Rizzo, Bryant, and Baez. They've won a World Series, and they're ready to make another run. For St. Louis, it's the fresh faces of Pham, Martinez, and DeYoung. They've gone from riding the minor league buses to winning on the big league stage. Last year, the Cardinals trailed the Cubs by 17 at this point in the season as Chicago steamrolled their way to a world championship. This year, St. Louis is behind by just 3 games. The NL Central crown still within reach. First of 7 remaining games between these two rivals coming up. It's playoff baseball in September, and it's right here on Fox Sports Midwest. Baseball. Historic Wrigley Field, a day game. It kicks off a weekend series. Doesn't get much better than this. The St. Louis Cardinals and the Chicago Cubs. A look at the Central Division. The Cardinals, after taking 2 of 3 against Cincinnati, 3 games back of Chicago. In the wild card, they are 2.5 games back of Colorado. Scott Warman is here. That's Tim McCarver. I'm Dan McLaughlin, and welcome to Cardinals baseball. Tim, it should be a great weekend of baseball here at Wrigley.
Everybody familiar with that Broadway play chorus line and their famous song, One. That's what the Cardinals have to worry about. One game, not 3 games, not 2 out of 3, not the sweep, but 1 game and 1 at bat at a time.
John Lackey gets the call for the Chicago Cubs, and the Cardinals will counter with Carlos Martinez.
Carlos Martinez, the only real problem he's had this year, the first inning, a 6.11 earned run average, but he's pitched very, very well against the Cubs. And how about it? 200 strikeouts the first time since 2013 when Adam Wainwright had 200.
Should be a lot of fun this weekend. An old rivalry renewed here at Wrigley Field in Chicago. The Cubby Blue, the Cardinal Red, packed house. Wrigley the scene, and baseball is coming up. It's the call today for the St. Louis Cardinals, and against one of the top hitters in all of baseball, Chris Bryant. He's fared very well. Bryant just 3 for 22, 11 strikeouts against Carlos. As a matter of fact, the Cardinals as a whole have kept him in check for the most part. Career OPS against other Central teams, and at the bottom, it's St. Louis. A great rivalry with the Central Division on the line. Should be a lot of fun this weekend here at Wrigley Field in Chicago.
The defending world champions, I think you have to respect that.
It's over, and the Cubs have finally won it all.
I don't know how much more of a rivalry it could be.
The Cardinals just keep on rolling here in the top of the eighth.
They're certainly a much better club than what I'm used to, what Cardinal fans are accustomed to in the last 5 years.
So it creates an exciting environment in Busch Stadium and Wrigley Field when you play.
Throw down to third, and got him! Zobrist waved in. He'll score.
Even when they were beating us in 2007 and 2008, it felt like it was, postseason baseball every time we went in there.
At the wall, and this game is tied!
Being out there in the outfield up close to those fans, they get after you a little bit.
There's always that added kind of intensity when you face a rival like that.
Ground ball left side to Young, gloves, long throw to first. Wow, what a play!
Our focus is on us, and I think if we can take care of what we can control, we'll be fine.
And a drive into left center. At the wall, he's done it again. Second home run of the day, Yadier Molina.
We got to go out there and step up and play good ball and show that, we're still in town.
Those games are cutthroat, and one game could be the deal breaker in making the postseason or not, or winning the division or not, have to be in a wild card game.
DeYoung at the wall, it's gone! Contreras with home run number 14, 2-0 Chicago. That's well hit. Off the bat of Grichuk, back to back. This may go, and it's off the wall. 2 runs will score. Hayward thinking 3. Diving in, save at second base. The Cardinals hold on, and a wild one here at Wrigley Field. It's always fun here at Wrigley Field. The Cubs and the Cardinals. And lo and behold, Tim McCarver, we have a division potentially on the line starting today.
This is the only game being played in the major leagues. There will be 14 others played tonight. And I will guarantee you that since baseball players are not only professional players, but professional fans, in all 14 ballparks, the game is on right now. And you guys hear me, whether you're in contention or out, this is a very big game, and baseball realizes it.
Chicago 3 games ahead of St. Louis and Milwaukee. Milwaukee playing host to Miami this weekend, Hurricane Irma. So they had to restructure the schedule with that. And it actually turns out to be a 3-game home series, if you will, for the Brewers.
Yeah, because the Miami Marlins have moved to Milwaukee, and they'll play tonight.
The flags, always check those at the start of the game here at Wrigley. They're blowing out to left. And it's very warm, so the ball should be flying today here at Wrigley Field. John Lackey last year, 29 starts, 11-8, a 3.35 ERA. There's a look at his Hyundai pitch arsenal. He's no stranger to big games in his career.
No, but his weakness this year, home runs. He's allowed 33, the most in the National League.
Record of 11-11, the 4.65 ERA. Mentioned the 29 starts last year. Number 28 today. He's made 6 starts against St. Louis. All 6 have been quality. And those are games in which a starter will go 6 innings and no more than 3 earned. As Tim mentioned, the Academy Sports and Outdoor Leaderboard. Most home runs allowed this year. John Lackey with 33. That's 9th most in Cubs history. Warren Hacker gave up 38 in 1955, and that's the most.
So you could say the wind was blowing out mostly in 1935, and it still is.
So here's the Cardinal lineup with Carpenter, Tommy Pham, and Paul DeYoung, and then Martinez, Molina, Piscotty, Wong, Bader in center again. Still Dexter Fowler on the men, and Carlos Martinez, the pitcher, batting 9th. There's Mike Matheny within 3 games, and you had the chance to visit with Joe Madden before our first pitch today.
I did. Joe Madden coming up as he always does with, he said, never let the pressure get in the way of the pleasure. What a great comment that is by a very savvy man.
Last year, the world champions, they've been in postseason play back-to-back years. Their pitching staff is taking the brunt of that a little bit this year. It's not nearly as good as it was a season ago.
Boy, you said that after the first series here at Wrigley Field, and I applaud you, partner, because you were right on the money.
It's good, not great.
I thought the Cubs would be similar to last year. I didn't think they'd blow them out like last year, but I didn't expect two teams to be tied at 3 games out here in September.
And the first pitch taken by Carpenter. It's a ball. The shift on here by the Cubs on the right side of the infield. And they shade him a bit to the opposite way in the outfield. Carpenter taking a ton of pitches here recently, dealing with that sore right shoulder. He has 101 walks on the year, 2nd in the National League.
Unusual for Lackey to fall behind early in the game or the count to Carpenter.
As we saw in his time briefly in St. Louis, he is a strike thrower. 2-1 the count. The last Cardinal with 100 walks in a season, you have to go back to 2010. Albert Pujols at 103.
Lackey wanted that. Arms are spread in the 4th pitch of the game.
You knew it was coming at some point.
Of course. Why not do it early? Watch Lackey. What? Where was it?
Now that's John Lackey.
That's John Lackey. Yes, sir.
Home plate umpire is Jordan Baker. 3-1 pitch. Now 3-2.
Dan, it's a situation right here when you check the flags with left-handed hitters. Normally, you're a little cautious when you fall behind, but you don't have to be. Today, the wind is blowing straight in from right field. I mean, it would take a mighty, mighty blow to get it out and right. So, therefore, you can pitch comfortably behind in the count to left-handed batters.
3-2 pitch. And he pulls it right to Rizzo. The Cubs defensively here today with Schwarber in left, Jay in center, Jason Hayward in right. It's Bryant, Baez, Zobrist, and Rizzo on the infield, and Wilson Contreras behind the plate. Here's Tommy Pham, now a 2020 man. Drills it out to left center field. 1-0 Cardinals. Tommy Pham, home run number 21. Have a year, Tommy Pham.
And if you're thinking, gosh, there are a lot of cheers for Tommy Pham's home run, you're right. About a third of the crowd, Cardinal fans here in Chicago. First pitch, you rarely see him swing at the first pitch for a long ball. Looking inside, right down the pipe, 34 home runs now surrendered by John Lackey.
Ball was blistered to left center. And a strike to Paul DeYoung. DeYoung with family and friends from Antioch, Illinois. Both Cubs and Cardinal fans here today. Popped up to the right side. Out of play.
What Lackey does in situations like this, he tries to bury the breaking ball low and away to right-handed batters. And coincidentally, Paul DeYoung recently has been victimized by that breaking ball low and away with 2 strikes.
It's fouled back. Both starters have issues in the first inning. Lackey's ERA in the first inning this year, 5.67.
Carlos Martinez, his opponent, 6.11 in the first.
1 ball and 2 strikes. Paul DeYoung, 22 home runs this year. Second all-time among Cardinal rookies with Chris Duncan. The leader in that category, Albert Pujols, his rookie year hit 37. That's out of play. What a year Tommy Pham has had.
Oh, man.
Couldn't be happier for him. 12th year in the organization. We talk about it a lot. He's been through a myriad of injuries, and then the vision issues finally corrected this year. It's made all the difference in the world. Here's a 1-2 and a strikeout of DeYoung. $19 runs allowed in the first inning in 28 starts for John Lackey.
Now you hear that term often with starting pitchers, more of a recent term, innings eaters. I think that would certainly categorize John Lackey. That is a very high compliment, by the way, as far as major leaguers are concerned.
Up and into Jose Martinez. He's 7 for his last 16, one of the hottest hitters in baseball. 440 his average the last 15 games. On base in all 15 as well. And a fly ball. Shallow right field. Rizzo going out to make the catch. Tommy Pham, a solo home run, number 21. And it's 1-0 St. Louis. Baseball is brought to you by Bud Light, famous among friends. By Chevy Silverado, the most dependable, longest lasting, full-size pickups on the road. Find yours at your local Mid-America Chevy dealer. By Menards, save big money at Menards on all your home improvement needs. And by Academy Sports and Outdoors, for all for less. A gorgeous day for baseball. Wrigley Field in Chicago. Carlos Martinez, the Hyundai pitch arsenal. Once he gets through that first inning, he is dominant. Tim mentioned the high ERA. 30th start of the year, 200 strikeouts. Tremendous year for Carlos.
Sometimes distinguishing the breaking balls. To left-handed batters, usually it's the curveball for the breaking ball. To right-handers, the slider. Slider breaks parallel to the ground. The curveball breaks down.
First pitch, a strike to the switch inning Ben Zobrist. 19 runs allowed in the first inning of his 29 starts.
Same as Lackey.
Here's the 0-1 pitch. 0-2. Cubs just finished a sweep of the Mets in which they scored 39 runs in the 3 games.
13 runs a game they average. While last weekend when Milwaukee was in to sweep them, they scored 3.
Right.
Or an average of 1 a game.
Crazy game.
Man.
0-2 pitch, tap foul. Zobrist did not play last night, and he's reached base 9 times in his last 2 games, so that's why he's at the top of this lineup. Then Bryant and Rizzo, Contreras, Schwarber, Jay, Hayward, Baez, and Lackey. Slaps it the other way, and it tails out of play.
I think Zobrist is going to get a curveball. Either this pitch or the next pitch if he stays alive. He is ripe for a curve right here.
And the 0-2. Very important what you said in the open. You know, fans, you think about it, and we all do. Well, what happens if you take 2 of 3, 3 of 3? What if you win 5 of the 7 against the Cubs?
Oh yeah, that's
all those things.
Those are our jobs up here. It's fun for fans and broadcasters and writers to talk about things like that, but you've got to concentrate on what's happening now in the game, particularly with 16 games remaining.
Here's a 1-2. Check swing, and he struck him out. There's the breaking ball there, Tim.
That's the good curveball right there. First 6 pitches of the game have been nasty for Carlos Martinez, because control more than anything has contributed to that high earned run average in the first inning. He falls behind, walks a couple of guys, then a base hit. Good to get Zobrist with that curveball.
And a fastball on the outside corner at 98. Bryant has driven in 6 in his last 3 games. Scored 7 times in the 3 games against the Mets in their sweep. One ball, 1 strike. Keys to the game: keep this guy off the bases or don't let him do damage. The Cardinals have done that.
Cardinals have done that. 156 average this year. Thing about Chris, he's got 26 home runs and only 65 RBIs. Now, what does that tell you? Generally, that says he's a guy hitting up in the order. And sure enough, Brian has hit second for the most part. Not usually a high RBI position.
Back-to-back strikeouts. There's the changeup. Boy, he looks sharp here early on.
He really does.
Cardinals defensively today: Tommy Pham in left, Harrison Bader in center, Stephen Piscotty in right field. Carpenter, DeYoung, Wong, and Martinez on the infield. Yadier Molina is behind the plate.
Harrison Bader, the only Cub today playing his first game at Wrigley Field.
Only Cardinal to do that.
Only Cardinal. I beg your pardon. I said Cub.
I was talking to him last night in the team hotel, and he was saying, I cannot wait to get to Wrigley Field. I wish the game was right now. And it was about 8 o'clock at night. He was so excited to get here. Bader in center. The fly ball by Anthony Rizzo. 1, 2, 3 go the Cubs. 1-0 St. Louis. Cardinals postseason push is with MLB.com at bat. #1 app for live baseball. Download MLB.com at bat today. Cardinals have Yadier Molina, Steven Piscotty, and Colton Wong.
Just remarkable the innings Yadier Molina has caught. We've said that more than once this year, and we're going to continue to say it as long as he continues to catch so many innings. Just unbelievable that he can still have the offensive output that he has.
Leads the team and all catchers in hits with 132.
And RBIs with the Cardinals with 75.
That's 5 shy of his career high of 80. I remember talking to you, I'd say 4 years ago, 5 years ago, whatever it was, and we were talking
that
about
far back?
the hands of a catcher. You said by September you wouldn't believe how beat up the hands get of a catcher, which makes it even doubly tough to try to have an offensive output.
I know it sounds strange, but right-handed catchers really have an advantage in that regard. Because with a left-handed hitting catcher, it's that top hand that is almost non-existent late in the season. You've taken the pounding. The better the pitching staff, the sorer the hand is. And a lot of times you find yourself hitting with 8 fingers instead of 10.
Sure.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
And the 1-2 pitch to Yadier Molina. I mentioned this with Al the other night, but someone was interviewing me about Molina doing a feature, and they said, what's the best part about him? What is it that stands out to you? And I said, he answers the bell every day.
That is, without a doubt, his most important asset among many.
A swing and a miss, and Lackey gets his second strikeout.
High fastball to get Yachty.
So 1 out, and here's the right fielder today for the Cardinals, Steven Piscotty. 1 for 9 on the homestand.
For Steven Piscotty, you got to forget the year and think about the weeks. There are a little more than 2 weeks remaining in this season. The year's been bad. The 2 weeks can be good.
Postseason could be great.
That's right.
0-2 the count.
Your memory is very important in this game. You forget about the bad things that have happened. Concentrate on the good.
He's telling me the other day he's really been trying to stay on balance. He said, I've just been off balance all year, fighting that mechanically.
I would agree with that, too. Obviously, when he said it, he meant it because it's him.
Well, you notice how some of the swings he finishes up almost on the other side of the plate.
It's almost like a golf swing, isn't it? You know, the swing is light, and I don't know that much about golf, and I'm sounding like I'm trying to make this comparison, but your finish as a golfer is very, very important.
A swing and a miss. Third strikeout for Lackey.
Lackey with a high fastball to get Molina, and now another one to get Piscotty. Might add that he got Paul DeJong on a high fastball. Fastball's out of the same kennel.
Here's Colton Wong hitting .298. John Lackey, a three-time World Series champion. The Angels in 02, Red Sox in 13, and the Cubs a season ago.
Became the first pitcher ever, first rookie pitcher ever, to start and win a Game 7 in a World Series. That happened in 2002 when he was with the Angels. Beat the San Francisco Giants.
And 43 starts with the Cardinals, went 16 and 13. And he was good in postseason play. And I guess when you think back to that Game 7 with the Angels, that was just a sign of things to come. He has been a very good postseason pitcher.
Well, I'll say.
The 2-1 pitch.
Thing is, you can't hurt John Lackey either. Rarely on the disabled list. He answers the bell. That's why it was such an entertaining battery when he was in St. Louis pitching to Molina. They were never hurt.
Right. 3-1 pitch. Wong hits it sharply up the middle. Baez from his knees. Oh, goodness, what a play.
That's unfair.
Oh, smokes. Wow.
Colton Wong running, a fast runner from the left side. Watch again. From his right knee on the ground, left leg extended, a bullet to first. Unbelievable.
The momentum taking him that way and still being able to shift the body. Wow.
Talk about body control. And yet, that body control is non-existent when he's a hitter. He's all off balance. You talk about the balance of Piscotty. That's the way Baez is as a hitter at times.
Wilson Contreras at the plate, activated on Sunday. He missed 28 games with a right hamstring strain, and he has tore up the Cardinals this year. 5 home runs. He's driven in 9 in 11 games against St. Louis.
Had a 2-homer game against the Cardinals in St. Louis. Awfully powerful guy.
Inside corner, struck him out. Martinez has struck out 3 of the first 4 he's seen.
That's where you take away the power of a guy pitching inside. Good pitch by Molina and Martinez.
Speaking of pitching, let's check in with Scott Warman, who has more on Luke Weaver, the winner yesterday.
Absolutely, Dan, and you know the Cardinals' big series, only 3 out, and Luke's a big part of that, winning his last 5 starts. And you know this, and talking to Luke Weaver today, his first major league start last August right here at Wrigley Field. He told me, Danny, he's a much different pitcher than he was a year ago, much more confident. I brought up the fact in the last 5 starts, he only has 4 walks. He jokingly said, Scott, thanks for ruining that. He said it's all a mindset and being aggressive and being ahead of the hitters. And Luke Weaver has been, I think, a big addition to why the Cardinals are on the heels of the Cubs right now.
Well, he has been aggressive. There's no doubt about it. And a different pitcher.
Absolutely.
Confident. Thank you, Scott. Here's Kyle Schwarber. Really tough year for Schwarber, but still dangerous. 26 home runs.
Oh, yeah.
Average just at 209.
Now, the power's always going to be there. The Cubs just want more consistency this year.
And he yanks that foul.
See, those are lightning fast hands. Talk about the bat through the strike zone. That's why he hits a lot of balls foul hard down the right field line. Lightning quick.
The 2-2. Tell you what, folks, Carlos Martinez is amped up. That pitch at 99.
You don't know what's going to happen, but we talked about it in the first inning. We have not seen Carlos Martinez as effective in the strike zone as we saw him in the first inning, with improvement in the second.
So that's now 4 strikeouts, the 5 that he has faced. Here's former Cardinal John Jay. Went 2 for 5 with a double. Couple of runs scored last night in an RBI.
If John Jay plays all 3 games, if at any time during those 3 games he drops a ball in front of the left fielder, Tommy Pham's playing too deep. I know that's a mantra that Cardinal fans have heard us talk about a lot, but as a Cardinal, we saw so many times how he plopped that ball in front of the left fielder. That said, Tommy Pham's 5 feet too deep right now. I don't care the wind blowing out or not. Now, I'm not talking about the pull guys, center and right field, but only the off fielder, and that's Tommy Pham in left.
Jay hits it to short. DeYoung from his knees. Oh, what a play, and a nice pick by Martinez.
What a delicious 2 innings.
Wow. Baez the inning before, and this one from DeYoung. Terrific play from his knees. Baseball is brought to you by your local St. Louis area Volkswagen dealers. Visit VWDealer.com. And by McDonald's, Cardinals hit a home run, get a free McDouble or frozen beverage the next day with the McDonald's app. Download it for exclusive deals.
For those of you who like balance and order, the second inning, both halves, ended with shortstops making remarkable plays. First Baez, now DeYoung. Good play on the back end by Martinez, who is improved at first base.
I was just going to bring up that point. Ali Marmol and Mike Schilt have worked a lot of hours with Jose Martinez on that particular play, the pick. And he's got much better.
We have talked about it so many times. The unsung heroes in Major League Baseball, the coaches and their manager. And the guys should be given a lot of credit. And you have done exactly that, particularly the last week, Danny, is Mike Matheny and his lieutenants.
Ali Marmol is not with us today. His wife is due with their first child, so that's Pop Warner, who's worked a lot with DeYoung. A fly ball into right. Jason Hayward is there and makes the catch. I just think, Tim, when you look at the influx of the youth that's been put in this roster and guys with no major league experience to be in this position, you've got to give some credit to the coaching staff and Mike Matheny.
Absolutely. I mean, the patience, all of a sudden, you're not playing with the same deck of cards that you played with at the beginning of the season. Through injury or ineffectiveness, some of the regulars were sent down. Colton Wong, Stephen Piscotty, Randall Grichuk. And the guys who have come up have just done a remarkable job. And at the top of the list, Tommy Pham.
Here's Carlos Martinez. 1 ball and 1 strike. Run prevention. You think about that with the Cubs a year ago. They gave up in their games on average 3.4 runs per game. This year, 4.4. They won last year by 17.5 games in the Central Division. It's a run worse this year. That's part of the reasons why they're in the middle of a tight race.
Sometimes we're all guilty of not looking deep enough when you consider winning teams. What won more than any 2 elements last year for the Cubs? Their pitching and their base running. And their defense, I might add. We'll add another one in there. They are an excellent base running team.
I agree with you on the defense too, boy. They were really good a year ago.
Well, Baez alone, I mean, what a weapon he is at shortstop or second or third.
Four strikeouts for Lackey. Looking at the Cubs and Cardinals last year, this year, first half, second half, and the Cardinals start play today, just 3 games out. It was a dominant run by Chicago a year ago.
Oh yeah.
Cardinals fell 1 game shy of getting into postseason and the wild card.
But on this date last year, there were 17 games behind the Cubs. This year, 3.
The other thing too about last year, the Cubs didn't deal with injuries, especially with their rotation.
Had their #1 shortstop out, Addison Russell, but what a replacement. The guy who replaced him is better than the regular shortstop, and that's nothing against Addison Russell, who does a very, very good job for the Cubs. But I don't think anybody can touch this guy in baseball.
Might have the quickest hands in the game.
Oh my gosh.
Here's a 1-1 pitch to Carpenter. Lined out to Rizzo first time up, 2 balls and 1 strike.
I think Toscanini would take Baez in the symbols section. where you have to have ultra quick hands.
How many outs has he gained for this club by, just to throw in the quick tag
no
to
telling.
the bag?
No telling. What a weapon.
2-1 pitch. Fouled back, 2-2. It's on the second base side of the infield. And Bryant moving back towards short with the shift on here with Carpenter and 2 strikes. 2-2. There's a look at the middle infield, and that's Zobrist near the bag at second. This type of defensive alignment with the sore shoulder of Carpenter, a lot of the balls that he hits, and he's been putting a ton of balls out of play just to stay alive, go to the left side. Meaning that, the shift, I'm not so sure the numbers would bear it out to do it, yes, but with his condition, is it really worth doing it in this type of spot?
I would have thought that scouts, since baseball games are scouted about 3 or 4 times more in September than they are any other month, I would think they'd have an idea about that.
Bryant makes the catch. The scouts are here, full attendance. 1-0 Cardinals. Fam, a home run. Carlos Martinez has seen 6 and struck out 4. Everything seems to be working early on. I think if you ask the national folks that cover the game.
I thought you were going to say the National Enquirer.
No, I don't want to go there.
Why not?
I try to stay out of that stuff. And so should you.
Yeah, I do. I do. Just kidding.
Here's Jason Hayward. I wonder if they'd consider Martinez to be in the elite. In my mind, he is.
Oh, well, yeah, I mean, we saw a picture of those scouts. I'll guarantee you all of them, 100%. Put him in the elite category.
Now,
what's the elite
scouts.
category? The best 10 in the game? No question.
That's in my mind, too. But if you talk to some people, well, he's good, but look at the record. Throw out the record.
Throw the record out.
He's dominant.
It's the early innings. And even Carlos will tell you that gripping his emotions early has been a big part of his game. And I'll tell you who's helped him with that is Yadier Molina.
Here's a 1-2. Hayward puts it in play to short. DeYoung up with it. 1 away. The scouts, they are all over the place here today. 2 potential postseason teams here.
Scouts galore. I came in from the San Francisco airport yesterday and happened to run into Terry Kennedy, who was a scout for the Chicago Cubs. And I said, "Where are you going today?" He said, "Washington." I said, your work doubles up now, doesn't it? He said, "Quadruples."
I bet. Here's Baez hitting .274. These two pitchers have combined to retire now 15 straight, and neither pitcher, Lackey or Martinez, has made a pitch from the stretch today.
What a note.
0-2.
Don't throw a strike here. That slider off the plate away would be the perfect pitch to a wild swinger, particularly after he's taken 2 strikes.
Up the middle, DeYoung gloves and throws off balance. Nice play.
Carlos Martinez got away with one there. Too good a pitch on a 0-2 count. But watch the play again by DeYoung. Boy, I'll tell you, watch him step across the bag. Baez should know better. The major league player and a very good one, an elite glove man who steps across the bag. Now, if Martinez had dropped that ball or bobbled the ball, then all he has to do is tag Baez and he is out because he failed to touch first base. That is a no-no for big leaguers, but you see an increasing amount of guys doing that.
2 nights ago, routine play, Jose Martinez dropped a ball. Martinez gathers it. Lackey not running and flips to first. He's running. He makes that close. Pham coming up. Only hit thus far. A home run. It's 1-0 St. Louis. Night at Busch Stadium, presented by Fox Sports Midwest. Purchase of a special theme ticket, you'll receive a Billikens themed Cardinals cap. Tickets now at cardinals.com/theme.
You know what, Dan? This is one of those major league games, middle of September, where if you're watching, you got to call your best friend or even a friend that you haven't talked to in a while and ask him or her, "Are you watching the Cardinal game?
Oh, yeah.
Are you watching this? These first 3 innings?"
I gotta say it. You remind me of it a lot. Various things that happened throughout the game. Normally when I say it, it's on the negative side of something going on.
Wait a minute.
Well, hold on. Let me finish now.
Okay.
But this, my friend, my dear friend, my broadcast partner, It's the big leagues, man.
It's the big leagues, man.
They're making some plays out there.
It is the big leagues with capital B and L
and M.
and M.
That's my favorite. I sit there hem and hawing. Tim, you know, this, that, and the other, and you just look at me. Dan, the big leagues, man.
It's the big leagues. Come on. This is big league ball.
You got it.
BLB.
I love that. Makes me laugh every time.
That's great.
1 ball and 1 strike on Tommy Pham. Pham, on the first pitch, he saw a home run into left center. We've seen some defense. We're seeing pitching on both sides. Shortstops really have stood out defensively. And the home run by Tommy Pham. He now has 21 steals and 21 home runs. He set his goal yesterday to Jim Hayes. I want to get to 25-25. Keep pushing.
He's got 16 games to do it. Contreras setting up too early behind the plate. When a catcher sets up inside, it's going to be a fastball.
3-2. So you're giving it away as a catcher.
I think so. You set up, you can, as a hitter, you can hear a guy move behind the plate. If you can hear him, usually he's inside. That means it's not going to be a breaking ball.
And the 3-2 pitch. Hit out of play. Kubota power stats with Tommy Pham. And a lot of his damage has been done on the road. Highest OPS on the road. The Kubota power stats. Altuve, he might be the MVP in the American League.
Maybe.
3-2 pitch. Just a bit high. And the Cardinals have their first base runner since the home run hit by Tommy Pham back in the first. And in steps DeYoung. An absolute cannon behind the plate in Contreras. See how aggressive Tommy Pham wants to be.
That's a beauty for a strike thrower. Generally speaking, that is the time to hit and run. But as we've said on many occasions, that is not in Mike Matheny's repertoire. Hitting and running on 3-2. Just his style. So generally speaking, the Cardinals have to do it straight up. They don't send the runner that often. Now, Pham runs, you may be trying to steal the base and not part of a hit and run.
1-1.
It's funny how some hitters can be better hitters when a runner is in motion.
Yes.
Because they concentrate on just hitting the ball hard.
In a hit and run especially, you got to put the ball in play.
Yeah, exactly.
Two strikes on DeYoung. 1-2. John Lackey was part of the big deal that really shook the clubhouse of the Cardinals. Alan Craig, Joe Kelly. Lackey and Lynn that year combined 64 starts. And that was a year that Adam Wainwright was done for the season with a torn Achilles. So they needed a jolt and they got it out of John Lackey. Pham is dancing towards second, not running, and the pitch is hit out to right center. John Jay with the catch. The Cardinals, you'll see it at some point this weekend. If Jay is in center field, they will tag up for first base on him.
John Jay knows that, so the way to try to eliminate it, I mean, you can't rent a new arm. He does not have a good arm, so he gets rid of it quickly. Remember Ron Fairley, a great major league player, played with the Cardinals on the tail end of his career, used to say an outfielder's job is to first get to the ball as quickly as possible, and that's what stops the runner. Doesn't matter about the strength of the throw. As long as that throw's already in the air, that'll stop the runner.
Here's Jose Martinez. First pitch high, and again Lackey questioning the strike zone. Now, let's be honest, you're allowed to question the strike zone. However, that grates on the nerves of the home plate umpire.
Right. It's not the most diplomatic way of handling the home plate umpire.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to say.
So you, as the catcher, become the intermediary.
Good luck with that, too. Pham is leaning, short lead, now running. Throw down to second, they got him. Tell you what, Contreras, almost unfair at times. He has a cannon.
We talked about the unfairness of Baez. I mean, Pham had a great lead from first base, great jump. I mean, this is a cannon shot. Out by a long way.
No, 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 he says, don't run on me.
Yeah, Wilson, that's enough. I don't like that.
Here's a 2-0 pitch. 2-1.
Do it in your actions when you make the play, not in the actions after the play has happened. I don't like that, and a lot of people don't that play the game.
Martinez fights it off to second base. Zobrist over to Rizzo. So Pham walked, caught stealing. DeYoung flies to center. Martinez grounds out. Scott Warman, namely Dexter Fowler, the former Cub, and Jed Jerko. Where are the Cardinals with those two?
Exactly, Danny. We talked to Mike Matheny before today's game, and Mike says that Dexter Fowler will not be available in late innings for today's game. Meanwhile, for Jed Jerko, he took some ground balls today. He did some batting practice. And as you know, Dan, he ran today. And I know Jimmy reported the other day that the thing that Jed had told him was rounding bases was the next step. Well, he did some of that today. Mike Matheny telling us that Jed's very close to being activated and being on this roster here in the last couple of weeks of the season, Danny.
Well, the idea is that, thank you, Scott, that at some point he could come up and pop you a home run or get you an extra base hit.
No question.
That threat off the bench. Fastball and a strike.
Threat off the bench where you can trot around the bases and not have to run. Best way to protect your hamstring. Hit the ball out of the ballpark.
You can walk around that. Don't worry about it.
Right.
Here's the 0-1 pitch. Top of the lineup here for the Cubs. 9 up and 9 down to start the afternoon for Carlos Martinez with 4 strikeouts. He struck out 4 the first 5 he saw.
Remember the breaking ball in the dirt to strike out Zobrist the first time. He's as ready for that pitch from the Cardinal standpoint as he was his first time up.
And the 0-2. Molina thought that would be a called third strike.
That's a pitch that's designed to be outside. Left-handed hitter sees it and he thinks the break of it. That's the one pitch that Bob Gibson used so well in 68 and 69. He changed it from the slider away to a left-hand or inside to a left-handed batter to the slider away. And Billy Williams was one of the guys he used it against with the Cubs and was very successful. Billy Williams tormented Bob.
Yes, he did.
10 home runs lifetime.
I always think about what must be going through your mind when you come to this ballpark. You've called so many great games, but you played so many in this ballpark too.
And the 18-16 game, a game with the Phillies. We were trailing 13-2 with 1 out and nobody on in the 6th inning and won the game 18-16. Mike Schmidt hit the first home of 4 against Rick Russell. He hit the 4th of 4 off Rick's brother Paul in the 10th inning to win that game.
Go figure.
And then the 23-22 game in 79.
Swing and a miss. He struck him out. Changeup on the 3-2, and that's 5 strikeouts from Martinez, the BJC Healthcare difference maker. Last 3 seasons, and Carlos getting better against the Cubs. By the way, if the Cardinals wanted to use Jerko today, they could. So he has been activated and could pinch hit later in this game. It's getting close. Here's Chris Bryant.
Bryant's such a good hitter because of his long arms. He can handle both the inside pitch and the outside pitch. If the pitch is not off the plate away, those arms can reach it.
An uppercut swing from a right-handed batter.
Yep. Very unusual.
2-0 pitch. High fly ball, deep right center field. And this ball is gone. We're tied. It's 1-1. Uppercut swing from a right-handed batter. A swing and a miss by Anthony Rizzo.
Everything we were talking about during that at bat and before that pitch.
This is the new thing the Cubs do.
Oh, really?
So they've got one of the players will grab the microphone and do the interview with the player that hits a home run.
Oh. Who is that? Who is that masked man?
Not sure who that was this time. Looked like Ian Happ. I kind of like it. I think it's funny.
Yeah, it is. But everything we were talking about, reaching the outside pitch, uppercut, power the other way.
Home run number 27 for Bryant. And we're tied 1-1. The first hit of the game. We have 1 hit on each side. Both have been home runs. And to think that the wind, as we've talked about, blowing out to left if you just joined us, and he hits that into the wind.
Yes.
And into right center in the bleachers.
And this ballpark has been very, very friendly to hitters who use the gaps. It's only 368 to left and right center.
That's pulled foul.
You don't have to be a pull hitter to be a home run hitter in this ballpark. Matter of fact, it hurts you.
Kia in the driver's seat. RBI leaders, Rizzo at 106. He's 3 shy of his career high of 109. He's tied his career high with 32 home runs. And dares you to pitch inside as he hovers over the plate. That one caught him. He's hit by the pitch. McDonald's Ticket Fest is back. Visit Cardinals.com/McDonald's to purchase $9 tickets to see the Cardinals play the Cubs at Busch Stadium. That's September 12th through the 14th. Cubs and Cardinals. It's a 4-game series, and $9 tickets can be yours at Cardinals.com/McDonald's. Wilson Contreras, 1-1 our score. 97 on the gun from Carlos Martinez.
Carlos struck out Contreras the last time up on an inside fastball and started him off with a similar pitch this time around. You get him conscious inside, then you can go away.
Got to keep an eye on Rizzo. He's sneaky over there at first base.
He is.
I know you love base running. It can win you games. And you think about Rizzo, you think about Bryant. They're always taking the extra bag first to third.
Baez,
another one.
John Jay. Cardinals know that because of his time in St. Louis. Not a fast runner, but you don't have to be fast to be good.
The 2-1 pitch to Contreras. 2-2. Pitches by inning for Martinez, up to 58 today. Two pitch. Contreras a base hit to the right. Rizzo will stop at second base with a good throwing arm of Piscotty and a bullet into right field.
Hit hard, and Cole Wong had no chance, cheating for the double play. So Contreras into that hole with authority. Sometimes the speed with which you hit the ball prevents the runner from going from first to third. So that was an asset for the Cardinals then. It's weird how the game works.
And now Kyle Schwarber struck out back into third. Remember, the beginning of the year, the Cubs had Schwarber at the top spot in their lineup.
Yep.
They had Dexter Fowler, who had a .390 on base percentage. He goes to the Cardinals. Schwarber at the top spot. And at one point this year, he was sent down to the minor leagues, came back on July 6th. And since that time, he has hit 14 home runs. The Cubs, by the way, have hit 207 this year. Here's a 1-0 pitch. For the longest of times this year, the Cubs were at the bottom in all of baseball with runners in scoring position. Schwarber this year at 153. Here's a 1-1 pitch. Good changeup.
Having Schwarber way out in front. Good pitch by Martinez. That has been a valuable tool for Carlos since being helped with it by Pedro Martinez 4 years ago during winter ball.
And Carlos has been referred to as Little Pedro.
Yeah. Tell you, if you're Little Pedro, you like that. You like that nickname. That's good.
That means you're really good.
That means you're really good. Because he was.
Two and two the count on Kyle Schwarber. Popped up left side. Carpenter, infield fly. Catch is made. And the batter will be John Jay. Say what you will about John Jay. Not the fastest runner, not a great arm, doesn't hit for power. But you need winning ball players on your team. This guy is a winning player.
There's nobody on his team and in their uniform personnel that likes this guy more than Joe Madden.
Little flare out to left, drops in front of Pham. Throw to the plate. In time, and the tag is there. He got him. Rizzo is tagged out. Yachty tags him again just to make sure.
We said the first time up, if a left fielder, that's the off-fielder, Tommy Pham, if a ball lands in front of him, he was playing too deep. Well, he was, but made up for it with the throw.
Tommy Pham, in his estimation, first time when Jay was up was 5 feet too deep. Well, there you go.
Well, it does make Tommy Pham in a good position for a good throw, and it was a good throw. So playing too deep didn't bother him. But if you're a Cardinal fan, you hope he learns something from that, because that is John Jay's trademark hit. A little flare to left field. I think Yachty ended up tagging him on the right thigh. The umpire said he got him in the torso. I didn't see that.
And then Yachty was ready to tackle him just in case.
Yeah.
You're not getting to the plate.
Man. What an exciting 4 innings so far today.
It's been great.
Man.
1-1 our score. We're in the top of 5. Here's Yadier Molina. Struck out his first time up. Hits it a mile high into shallow center. And that'll be the catch made by Zobrist. Jay never saw that ball, by the way.
Oh, he didn't?
Never saw it.
I didn't see that. Good call. Now I see him gesturing into Ben Zobrist. In case that ball's a little deeper, let me know something. Yeah, you can see right there. Good call, Dan. Tough sun field all around here at Wrigley, especially in September, and worse in October.
Oh, yeah.
If they get that far.
Here's Stephen Piscotty. Struck out first time up. Piscotty up the middle on a base hit. Enjoy the last weekend of the regular season. Cardinals take on the Brewers Saturday, September 30th. That day, 30,000 fans go home with a Scott Rowland bobblehead, courtesy of Coca-Cola and Deerbergs. Fans also receive a magnet schedule thanks to Shelter Insurance. Cardinals.com/promotions for more information.
Both Cardinal hits today are on the first pitch. The home run by Pham, the single by Piscotty. And that's a good thing to do against Lackey. Coming into this game, he was one of the foremost strike throwers on the first pitch in the major leagues today. Only one guy ahead of him. About 2/3 of the time he throws a strike on the first pitch.
Lead of 16 first pitch strikes. It was a week ago that the Cubs played their first ever night game on a Friday. They actually had to have the mayor give the blessing, and he said, okay, if you want to make it a night game, we'll do it, but don't get used to it.
What's unusual about that is to have any politician in Chicago giving a blessing.
Any politician, period. You know what? Let's stick to baseball, okay? You know what happened the last time we talked about a politician? He caught a foul ball.
Oh, yeah, that's right. At Citi Field. I was going to say Shea Stadium. Citi Field in New York. I remember that.
Oh, believe me, I do too.
I know you did. You said it.
1 ball and 1 strike here on Colton Wong.
For those of you who may not remember, no, I'm not going to do that to you.
Oh, no, I cut his mic.
Oh, gosh.
No more.
No mas.
2-1 the count. So including today, 7 more games between the Cubs and Cardinals, and the 4 games remaining at Busch Stadium on the final homestand for the Cardinals. The Cubs have a long road trip coming up. They have 2 at Tampa, 4 with Milwaukee, and then 4 with St. Louis. 3-1 the count. And Lackey not happy again with his home plate umpire, Jordan Baker.
The last time the Cardinals qualified to play in the postseason on the last day of the season was 1964.
You remember that quite well.
Yes, I do.
Rizzo, the stretch, out. Nice play on both ends.
Well, I'll tell you, how many first basemen would not go to second base and take the safety play and just tag the bag? But Rizzo in a good position for a left-handed thrower, and the stretch by Baez.
Here's Harrison Bader. Harrison came up to me yesterday and said, I really want to meet your partner, Tim McCarver. Is he on any more games?
I tried to meet him in St. Louis, then I tried in San Francisco, and he was always out in the field and stuff like that, and that happens a lot. Yeah.
And I said, well, yeah, we'll be in Chicago. That ball gets away. It'll be a wild pitch. And there's a number of those this year by John Lackey.
11 to be exact.
But back to Harrison Bader, and this is the 11th wild pitch. He said, I read Tim McCarver's book, and I said, well, he's written, what, 4 or 5? He said, which one? He said, there's the intentional walk. He said, well, there's a book that he writes about breaking down the game, and in particular, base running, that my college coach made us read. And I've read it, I think it's fascinating, and I want to meet him. So did you hook up with him today?
I did not know that until you told me, and I immediately went down to try to find him, and I tracked him down. He was in the batting cage, and we agreed that we would meet tomorrow morning around 10 o'clock. There's a 3 o'clock start here in Chicago, and I can't wait to talk about base running with him. Anything you'd like to ask, and if I'm wrong on any count, he can correct me.
I think it's great.
Well, I love it.
So the intentional walk to Bader to bring up Martinez.
That's the one thing when you're trained in the Cardinal system under Stanky, Kissel, George Crow. These guys knew the game, and I mean knew the game inside out.
And Harrison told you that he was told by his college coach to memorize portions of the book.
Yeah, I said, gosh, you can't memorize those things. He said, well, certain things you can. So I'm going to find out what those certain things are tomorrow.
So he's got a quiz tomorrow.
I'll report tomorrow. No, I have a quiz.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. I'll report tomorrow, Daniel.
Looking forward to it. But you have to appreciate, though, a player coming up and saying,
yeah.
I read your book.
I love that. I mean, that's great. Well, that's been a problem for the Cardinals earlier in the year. Their base running not as good. They could certainly improve on that, and we'll try next spring. First things first, we got 2 weeks left here in 2017.
For people that don't know, Tim loves long walks on the beach, great Italian food, and also anytime you want to talk base running, he's in.
I like French food and base running too.
It's a great combo. Poodles too. You love poodles.
Yes. Well, the French love that in particular, taking their dogs to meals. They love that. They do.
Here's a 2-2.
Oh boy.
Wow, Martinez thought he was out. So did Lackey, and so did Contreras, and John Lackey is hot.
Lackey was run from a game last year or the year after that. I think it was the year after he went from the Cardinals to the Cubs. Complaining about that. Joe Madden out. You can't argue balls and strikes. If you do that as a manager, you're gone.
You know what hurt him there? And we talked about this before the game. You pointed it out. Contreras does not have soft hands. He stabs at the ball.
No, that's right. He's a stabber.
And he stabbed at that last pitch.
That's exactly right. When you stab, you're not giving. When you give the umpire a better look at the pitch. I'm surprised Madden wouldn't run. He's out there protecting his pitcher, who's arguing balls and strikes. It was a strike. That's a good point, Danny, because it wasn't received right. A lot of times receiving the ball correctly and softly, you give the umpire a better look at that pitch. It was a strike. So the Cardinals living on borrowed time presently. Martinez not a bad hitter. And if he gets a hit here, Lackey's gone.
Wait till his reaction after this pitch one way or another. Martinez base hit in the center. Lackey racing behind the plate, going at the home plate umpire. A run scores to make it 2-1.
How great is this game? You're talking now. Contreras is gone, and Contreras is a hothead anyway. They are very concerned about controlling his temper. It's dangerous, and I got to say, Lackey caused that, not Contreras.
John Lackey, after the ball was hit, ran directly to the home plate area, almost as if he was going to tackle Jordan Baker.
That's really true. Instead of backing up home, he charged right at the umpire. I know if the shoe's on the other foot, you realize it, but Lackey is gone. Lackey's gone. The battery is run from this game. Try running a car without a battery. he might be suspended because that mask inadvertently hit home plate umpire Jordan Baker.
That's right. So both Lackey and Contreras out of this game.
You know it wasn't intentional. He flung the mask to the ground, but it hopped up and hit the right shin guard of Jordan Baker.
The pitch before the base hit, Carlos Martinez was walking to the dugout.
Yeah. This will be played over and over and over tomorrow morning in Chicago and St. Louis. Cardinals, however, will take it.
My guess is here, Tim, that when he was running towards Jordan Baker and he kind of just gave him that little, you're out of here. I wasn't sure if he meant get out of the way or you're out of the game.
Right.
And then Contreras gets thrown.
You know, the interesting thing about this, the guy coming in from the bullpen, a left-hander, does not have more time to warm up. He has 8 pitches. That's it. When someone is run from the game, a pitcher coming up from the bullpen may need extra pitches. As a matter of fact, he may have gotten those extra pitches while the Cubs and Joe Madden was gathered around the mound.
That is a great point.
And true.
This isn't an injury. This is you're thrown from the game.
2 guys are thrown from the game, or if the pitcher is ever run, you're only allowed 8 pitches with which to warm up.
We'll head to a break. The base hit by Carlos Martinez. Lackey run. Contreras run. Cardinals up by a run. Now Wilson getting plenty of time to loosen up. We'll talk about that in a moment, but this was the pitch that he stabbed at, called a ball. Martinez clearly thought he was out. All 3 of them did. The Cubs are running off the field. And then the next pitch. So my assumption here is that Jordan Baker, as he raced down Lackey towards home plate, threw him out as the play was going on.
Yeah. I mean, Harrison Bader stopped at third base, but had he chosen to come home, I mean, time hadn't been called yet. Joe Madden came out with time not being called. We are, you know, I could be wrong about that pitches from guys coming in from the bullpen when a pitcher is run that he only has 8 pitches, because clearly that left-hander had threw more than 8 pitches, Justin Wilson. So we're checking on that to see if that is still in the rule book, that it can't take place.
He threw 16.
Yeah.
So we'll find out.
Yep.
And here is Carpenter. Wilson has really struggled with his control. Walks have been an issue. And the Cardinals have runners at first and third. And the first pitch to Matt Carpenter. Avila is the new catcher. He was picked up from Detroit.
And you don't know whether the pitcher would be batting fourth, but I would imagine it would be a double switch for Joe Madden. Probably. Where the catcher's hitting ninth and the pitcher fourth.
Sure. Alex Avila, the new catcher. Runners at first and third. And the 0-1 pitch to Matt Carpenter. 0-2. Just another day at Wrigley.
Yeah. Nothing exciting so far. But we're only in the fifth, so we'll have to wait and see.
Something may happen. You never know.
You never know. Gotta hang with the baseball game.
And the 0-2 pitch to Carpenter. Two to one St. Louis. In the 1-2 pitch to Carpenter. 2-2.
If there was somebody on at first base other than Carlos Martinez, I would say it'd be an ideal time to run against a catcher coming into a game that's cold. Catchers don't have a chance to loosen up.
The 2-2 pitch. 3-2. Again, the issues of Wilson throwing strikes.
Yeah. From 0-2 to 3-2.
So Martinez off with this pitch. Left-handed batter at the plate. Rizzo playing behind. The runner at third is Harrison Bader. We'll do it again. 98 from the lefty. The 3-2 pitch. Popped foul and out of play.
You've talked about Matt Carpenter's sore shoulder, and his swings today indicate that, Dan. That fouling the fastball back the other way. You don't see that from Matt Carpenter. Usually it's straight back or pulling the ball.
And to his credit, drawing all these walks, the great eye that he has to still be a weapon offensively.
101 walks, second in the major leagues.
Pitch number 8 of this at bat. Pitch number 20 Carpenter has seen, and he struck him out. Just getting started this weekend. Cubs Cardinals, one of the great rivalries in all of sports, and having some fun on this Friday afternoon. on Nebraska. Then on Fox, you'll see Ohio State and Army, followed by the rematch 11 years in the making. Texas and USC meet for the first time since the classic of the 2006 Rose Bowl. College football on FS1 and Fox, where every game is everything. The bottom of the 5th, 7, 8, and 9. And the Cardinals have a 2-1 lead. If you just joined us, you've been missing out.
Boy, I'll say it. Just joined us, too bad.
A fabulous, fabulous baseball game so far.
Man.
Here is Jason Hayward. Greg Garcia is in for the Cardinals at second base. You know, Wong has been dealing with a sore back, so you wonder if that's come back to haunt him here today. Hayward up the middle, backhanded by Garcia. The pick by Martinez, can't come up with it.
It is uncanny how in baseball, the minute you're in a game, right in the middle of the game, the ball is hit to you. That little white rat will find you. And it finds Garcia, who makes a low in-between hop throw to Martinez, who can't come up with it. So an error on Greg Garcia.
And it brings in Javi Baez. Rule 8.03. Pitcher warm-up. When a pitcher takes his position at the beginning of each inning or when he relieves another pitcher, permitted to pitch not to exceed 8 preparatory pitches to his catcher, during which play shall be suspended. There's the out at first base. A league by its own action may limit the number of pitches to less than 8. Such preparatory pitches shall not consume more than 1 minute of time. This is the key. If a sudden emergency causes a pitcher to be summoned into the game without any opportunity to warm up, the umpire-in-chief shall allow him as many pitches as the umpire deems necessary. So that's the key there. That's an emergency.
So I was wrong. I was dead wrong. I thought it was 8 pitches. It was 16, and Jordan Baker was liberal and right.
So gave him 16 to get loose.
Yeah, okay.
So the crew chief, Bill Welke, in this instance, the third base umpire, deemed that to be quote-unquote an emergency, and that's why he gets the chance to warm up.
That makes a lot of sense.
There's Tommy La Stella. So he thought it could be a double switch, maybe. In Contreras' spot, that goes Avila, because here's the 9th position in their lineup and going with the pinch hitter. Tying run at second base. Two and 0 the count. Martinez has struck out 5. He also has a hit to give the Cardinals a lead. And a strike. 2-1. Every call, fans are giving it to the home plate umpire, Jordan Baker.
Oh, yeah, that'll continue throughout the game, I would think.
Here's a 2-1 pitch. 3-1.
I thought he went around. There's no appeal. Yadier Molina didn't appeal with third base umpire Bill Welke, so I guess no swing.
They appealed there, and he did not go around, so a walk. The T-Mobile Unlimited Baseball break following the first walk issued by Carlos Martinez. The Indians, down to their final out last night, pulled out a victory, 22 straight wins. And Milwaukee tonight at home. It should have been a road game. It's a home game. Jeremy Jeffress, Jose Urena against the Marlins.
think it was the 1916 A's that had the record, right? 26.
1916. That's it out of play.
And I heard or read somewhere that one of those games was a tie.
That's correct. Yes.
Of the 26.
Of the 26.
So we're going to have to find out which game was a tie. Right? I mean, wouldn't that make sense?
Sure. Freeman now with your pinch runner at first base. Zobrist at the plate. And the 0-1 pitch. Something to keep in mind is that Carlos Martinez went 23 minutes between pitches. He was at the plate. We thought it was a called third strike. You know the rest. Then the base hit. Lackey ejected. Little delay in between to let Wilson warm up. But 23 minutes. Just something to keep in mind.
I mean, you had an error by Garcia, a broken bat by Baez, and a walk to La Stella. And now the count is 1-2 to Zobrist. So I don't think it affected him. I mean, we've seen times when Carlos Martinez could go out there and it would appear that he could throw 200 pitches.
Yeah. And my thinking is more about the rhythm of it.
Sure. Well, that's certainly a reasonable point. Maybe some other pitcher, but not this guy.
2-2 the count. Left side could be 2. Garcia the turn. Double play. 5-4-3. What's happened here today? One of the great rivalries in sports here at Wrigley. Tommy Pham, second batter of the game, made it 1-0. Defense at short has stood out on both sides. And Martinez, a new life. Lackey ejected. Contreras ejected. 2-1 St. Louis.
That's the one thing that as Carl Edwards Jr. is in the game in relief of Justin Wilson, and that's one thing that Joe Madden has talked about, is Contreras' temper. It can be violent at times, and the one thing they wanted was to get him out of there before he suffered a suspension, and it might be too late if they view that suspension if that mask hadn't inadvertently, it wasn't intentional, inadvertently hit the home plate umpire Justin Baker in the thigh.
And now Tommy Pham, so 2, 3, and 4 in the lineup for the Cardinals here in the 6th inning. know you had a brief conversation with Carl Edwards Jr. before the game, and well, you just told him, hey, you're pretty good.
Yeah, I said, man, you got dynamite stuff. You could pitch for me or something like that. And then I said, can you tell me where Joe Madden's office is? He said, yeah, it's right down the hall. Take a left. That's how long it lasts. Hey, I mean, you do that. You admire a guy, the opposition, or whoever it is, a Major League Baseball player. You go to him, and then business as usual. See you later. I'm not going to sit here and muddle. And
in the air to the second baseman, Zobrist, and again looking at John Jay. I'm not sure he saw that ball.
I don't think he did. I think any fly ball, the Cardinals have to pay attention. Any fly ball to center field is going to be tough for John Jay. He's already proven that.
Red Cross depends on financial donations to be able to provide disaster relief immediately. Help people affected by Hurricanes Harvey and Irma. Visit redcross.org. Text the word Red Cross to 90999 and make a $10 donation.
Paul DeYoung trying to not disappoint all the folks that have come from Antioch, Illinois today. Made 2 good plays in the field so far.
That is the aspect of his game I think that has surprised many in the Cardinals organization. They knew he was going to hit. He had done that with power in the minor leagues. Was doing it again this year. But could he be an everyday shortstop? And he has answered that question.
Yes, he has. This is a young man who is not only first time in the big leagues, but he's got to learn all the new pitchers. Of course, they have to learn him too. I understand that. But he's done a remarkable job, just an excellent job in handling himself like a big league player.
Here's a 1-2. And part of that, you can't get too high, too low. And I think that's what I noticed about him. He's so even keel.
Yes.
In his approach.
Very, very intelligent. Got intelligent eyes. Just tell, you know, when you're looking at him, he's not looking at your forehead or
right.
His shoes. Telltale signs all.
Fouled back. Hear the boos for home plate umpire Jordan Baker. The 2-2 pitch. Inside. A little bit louder. Eighth pitch of this at bat to DeYoung and the 3-2. We'll have a ninth. The tie for the 1916 Giants came in the 13th game. Streak at 12. Then the tie, and then they went on to win 14. The stats from that game count, but the game itself does not. Wins or losses. Check swing. Got him.
Off the plate away, and DeYoung could not hold up.
Jose Martinez. 0 for 2 today. Popped out to first and grounded to second.
Here's a situation where with 2 out and nobody on, you're a home run hitter. You're in a ballpark conducive to home runs. Sit in an area where you think it's going to be. You might end up right. Martinez with great power to all fields.
Wind blowing out to left. That was a home run swing.
It sure was. Times to make contact, times to make a home run swing. That a backup slider it looked like, and a mighty swing by Jose.
Oh, 2 is a high fly ball. Wind will knock it down though as Hayward makes the catch in right. Sports Midwest, Fox and FS1. Cardinals continue their series with the Cubs here on Fox Sports Midwest. Coverage starts at 2:30. Then Fox has the Dodgers and Nationals at noon. FS1 will have the Royals and Indians at 2:30. All the games also streaming on Fox Sports Go. AARP getting to know Joe Madden. Received a letter from Harry Carey as a kid. Grew up a Cardinal fan in Pennsylvania, listening to the games on KMOX. Wrote to Harry Carey, got a letter back. Letter had a Busch Bavarian beer at the top of it. I know he respects you a great deal. He loved those teams of the 60s.
No, he loved the Cardinals.
Out to center and a base hit off the bat of Chris Bryant.
Yeah, Joe growing up, I believe his mother still works as a waitress in the cafe on Main Street in Hazleton, Pennsylvania.
That's right.
As a matter of fact, Jack Palance, the movie star, is from Hazleton, and Jack Palance's father used to be Joe Madden's plumber. Now go figure that out.
That's Kevin Bacon stuff.
That's good stuff, isn't it? Oh, I mean, Kevin Bacon could do that.
Well, I mean, Kevin Bacon, every movie relates back to Kevin Bacon.
Oh, yeah, right.
There's some actor that, you know, you can trace back to Kevin Bacon. That's the Joe Madden tree there.
Yeah.
That's good. So the base hit by Bryant. Here's Rizzo. Hit by a pitch and fly to center.
that those 2 ejections in the 5th inning just fueled what was going to be a great series. No telling how exciting it's going to be now.
And you know he's got the green light.
Change up just outside. I think standing close to the plate like Rizzo does gives him more patience at the plate, makes him more alert. He's hit by a lot of pitches as a result. Sometimes you have to think about it. You have to wait as a hitter, one of the great traits. And because he's so close to the plate, he has to wait to see pitch development.
Fist in. A single, now a walk. First 2 have reached. Join us for Perina's Better Together Pet Adoption Days at the ballpark September 13th and 25th. Head to Ford Plaza prior to the games to meet adoptable furry friends from the APA and the Belleville Area Humane Society. Get your tickets today at Cardinals.com. Second walk issued by Martinez. First 2 have reached, and it brings in Avila. This would be the spot that was occupied by Contreras.
So now what do you do if you're Joe Madden? You've got Kyle Schwarber on deck. That's what the left-hander Zach Duke is warming up for. Martinez is still throwing very well. So, I think it's time to worry about taking him out of a game. I'd be mad if I were Carlos and were removed from a game like this.
No question.
Avila, a very good bunter, by the way. So we'll see.
10 career sacrifices. There's ball 1. The shadows shortly will become a factor for the hitters.
Avila, not a fast runner, ideal for a double play if he hits a ground ball sharply to an infielder.
Cardinals turn to double play to end the 5th. Back to Martinez. Scoots through. Game tie. The ball hits Schwarber. And the Cardinals, because of that, catch a break. That may have saved a run.
Well, I'll say. Well, botched up base running because Chris Bryant thought he was being held up at 3rd. Rizzo kept going around 2nd. And Bader, when he looked up, then he made the throw. Had he thrown right away, watch Bryant. He stops. Rizzo, on the other hand, had kept going. Martinez is not where he's supposed to be. He's got to be backing up the play, and watch Bader stop. Then the fake throw. Now the throw home is not in time, and Bryant scores.
And if that ball doesn't hit Schwarber, the Cubs are on top.
That's exactly right. Schwarber is where Martinez should have been. Schwarber was telling the runner what to do, and Martinez was between Bader and Molina. That was botched up about 6 ways to Sunday.
Wow. So 2-2 our score. Schwarber is 0 for 2. Runners at 1st and 3rd. Nobody out. 0-2.
Dan, I guess that's got to be an RBI for Avila, right?
Yeah.
Got to be.
Yep.
See, Rizzo keeps going. Bryant had stopped at 3rd, and now the throw home, as Dan said, hits Kyle Schwarber on the carom. Martinez wasn't back there. He was between Bader and Molina.
Here's the 0-2 pitch. Schwarber pops it up. Slams his bat. And Tim, Schwarber's got to be on the other side of the plate to direct where to slide and if to slide.
Very good point. very good point and accurate. He's got to be where Bryant can see him easily. Bryant's not going to look to his right. It's that type of day.
In effect, he acts as another base coach by getting on the other side of the plate.
Well, he acts just like a home plate coach.
No question. Well, fam, you see him in left. We saw Jay go that way. This is into center. Bader racing in, won't get there. The Cubs have the lead. It's 3-2. John Jay drives in Rizzo.
Nothing you can do about this. Broken bat. Little lazy looper in front of Bader.
The batter is Hayward. There's been a couple of plays that the Cardinals really miss Colton Wong. Colton Wong, with his range, probably gets the ball that's scooted under the glove of Greg Garcia.
And at least saves the run through. Of course, Greg giving his all, but ball scooted under his glove.
We're still awaiting word as to why he was taken out in this game. And it's not to pick on Greg. Wong just has exceptional range.
Absolutely. He may have gotten one out on that play. Maybe.
And the 0-1. A ball and a strike on Hayward.
This inning started with Chris Bryant ahead in the count, singling to center, and then Rizzo walking. So some uncharacteristic wildness by Martinez here.
2-1 pitch. Check swing. Did not go. The 3-1 pitch to Hayward. 3-2. Pedro Strop throwing in the Cubs pen.
You see if Joe Madden sends the runners. He is a guy on a 3-2 count. Less than 2 outs that'll send the runners in this situation.
Not running, ball 4. Second walk in the inning, bases loaded. Your ticket out to once-in-a-lifetime experiences. StubHub. Cardinal games, concerts, shows you just don't want to miss. StubHub, the official fan-to-fan ticket marketplace of the Cardinals.
Cardinals are looking in the dugout for Mike Matheny about where to play the infield. I think your third baseman, Matt Carpenter, is shallow, and your infield's in double play depth. I think you've got to do that here. Baez's a fast runner, but hits a lot of balls hard.
Ian Happ is at the on-deck circle. Molina calls time. Baez today is 0 for 2.
Six guys on the mound, and only 2 involved with the pitch selection. Matt Carpenter telling Jose Martinez that he was already told that by the dugout Where's Jose going to be? I mean, that meeting wasn't held for Matt Carpenter to tell Jose Martinez anything.
And then Jose just looked back into the Cardinal dugout and said, "You want me back?" And they said yes. And now he moves in.
Yeah. In the baseline of Jason Hayward.
And now he moves back. Go figure.
Well, his play's to come home. I mean, he's not a guy who is designed to have a 3-6-3 double play. Ball hit to him, he's coming home. And baseball is a game of anticipation.
And Martinez can't believe the strike zone. 2-0. Where is this pitch? It's a strike.
Ideal hitting situation for Baez.
You struck out 130 times. Off the end of the bat, Martinez with time, and Yachty can't catch it. Everybody's safe.
This is like the third ground ball hit to Martinez in the last 4 games that have been mishandled by Martinez. One overthrown Yachty's head, and now Yachty can't come up with a catch. This is about as ugly as it can get. To credit Yachty, that ball was in the dirt, I believe. I think.
This bases loaded situation. Martinez threw one to the backstop. Then the next start threw one to center. And then this misplay moments ago. Fielder's choice, RBI, no error on the play. Chevy called to the pen, comes on top. Carlos Martinez, Ian Happ will be the batter. You mentioned, Tim, did he bounce it? He certainly did. Not an easy play for Molina, stretching there. And what could have been an inning-ending double play.
Yeah, it's an easy double play, a 1-2-3, as the players referred to it, but non-existent for the Cardinals today.
And here is Bowman. 4-2 Chicago. Strike one on Happ. In a way, Ian Happ is kind of the younger version with more power of Ben Zobrist, the way that he's used by Joe Madden.
Yeah, switch hitter. He is a very Ben Zobrist. We were talking about it in the lunchroom before about how important Ben Zobrist has been throw out his numbers. They're not important. It's what the guy can do, how many positions he can play, and Ian Happ is becoming that way for Joe Madden. You're right, Dan.
He is the 8th batter to come to the plate for the Cubs here in the bottom of the 6th. Base hit to right. One run is in. Here comes another.
That turned into a very close play at home. Why in the world Hayward is looking back at the right fielder, nobody knows, but a very close play. Your third baseman will tell you everything you want to know. There's no looking back at it over your shoulder at a right fielder. That can cut down on your gait going into third.
It's now a 6-2 Chicago lead. Ben Zobrist at the plate. Ground ball, pulled foul.
It's kind of one of those deals where Hayward scored in spite of himself on that play.
Exactly right. Why do you look behind? The third baseman will tell you everything, in addition to your coach. A 5-run bottom of the 6th for the Chicago Cubs. To center. Bader with the catch. His throw to the plate. 9 times. 2 runners advance, 1 scores. That makes it a 7-2 Cubs lead.
Harrison Bader did what he could, but he was a little too deep. Cardinals are appealing that play at third base, and Baez did not leave too soon, says third base umpire Bill Welke. A good throw to home, but Baez just beat the throw, and Ian Happ alertly goes to second base. That's what we're talking about. I mean, these guys can run the bases. There's no question about it.
And Bryant started this rally here in the 6th. Up for the 2nd time. 4th time in the last 3 days the Cubs have scored 5 runs in an inning. Ball low to Bryant. He's homered today. Scored 2 runs. 2 for 3. The 7 earned for Carlos Martinez is a season high. A ball and a strike. It ties his career high in terms of earned runs allowed. Here's a 1-1 pitch to Bryant.
And could have very, very easily been out of it with just 3 allowed.
No doubt.
And that's what's very painful at this time of year.
Two balls and 1 strike. Two and 2. Base hit in the left. 8-2 Chicago.
That was a fastball that he got up in the strike zone, and Bowman can't do that because he's not a hard thrower. And Bryant took advantage of it. Another pitching change for the Cardinals.
A 7-run 6th inning for Chicago. Chevy called to the pen. That's it for Bowman. Zach Duke comes on when we come back. His 20th appearance, made his debut this year here at Wrigley Field, coming back from Tommy John surgery, and he'll get Anthony Rizzo. Rizzo has walked and scored, hit by a pitch, and has also flied out to center. 8-2 Chicago.
Excuse me, Dan. We don't track when guys come back from Tommy John surgery, but Zach Duke came back very, very early, and he's not throwing hard this year. He's spotting the ball, doing okay, but he came back awfully early.
It's an inexact science, isn't it?
It is, yeah.
He was fabulous a year ago for the Cardinals, lefties or righties, late inning situations. Fly ball into right. Piscotty is there. Huge inning for the Cubs. They have an 8-2 lead as we head to the 7th. Sports Midwest is brought to you by Bud Light, famous among friends, and by Ford, the official cars and trucks of the St. Louis Cardinals. That's what I. Here's Pedro Strop in to pitch the 7th inning. Ian Happ stays in the game at second base. And this is our Chevy call to the pen.
Never know in this ballpark, Dan. We talked about it earlier. Pedro Strop, fastball slider, throws his slider very hard, can have control issues. 63rd appearance on the year for the durable right-hander for Joe Madden and the Cubs.
8-2 our score, top of the 7th. Yadier Molina leads it off. We're talking during the commercial break. I would imagine the one that feels, you brought up the point, off the hook right now, at least for the time being, Jordan Baker, the home plate umpire.
Yeah, the Cubs scoring all those runs. The fans here have forgotten about the ejection of Wilson Contreras and John Lackey. Once the Cardinals were ahead, that made it 2-1, but since then, Cubs with that 7-run 6th inning.
Here's a 1-1. Gateway Honda home run inning. Cardinals hit a home run. The Gateway Honda dealers donate $1,000 to the Make-A-Wish Foundation of Missouri.
I think one thing Mike Matheny and the Cardinals will address next spring during spring training is how important it is to get your first man on in an inning. Cardinals have had that happen once today. They've scored 2 runs.
And a high fly ball lifted to left. Schwarber makes the catch.
Baseball's a game of firsts. You get that first batter on, things starting to develop. It's kind of like whether the hurricanes that start out in Cape Verde, is it, down near the African coast, and then end up slamming into the United States in one form or another. And we just had that, of course. But that's what that first man in an inning gets on, and things start, creating exciting things for the Redbirds. But they are not a first guy on base type offense.
And in many
the
ways,
Cubs are.
Station to station, too.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. That's why base running, improved base running, should be #1 on the agenda next year. And if it's not, why not?
Piscotty laces that fair inside the third base line. Takes a funky bounce, and Piscotty is out. It hit off the sidewall, may have hit some padding, and it came back towards short.
And it did not appear to be fan interference out there. Ball hit the tarp or something, but the Cardinals are down by 6 runs. You can't get thrown out. It's happened all year. And it is befuddling. It hit the corner where the gate closes down there. More than coincidentally, Baez is there to have Piscotty easily at second base. You run the bases to the scoreboard. When you're down by 6, you can't afford chances.
It is unbelievable.
It is.
So 2 outs, and it brings in Garcia.
To show you how it may be habitual in the major leagues, if that's the word, yesterday's game, or last night's game here at Wrigley Field, ended with the Mets backup catcher being thrown out at home with the Cubs up by 8.
Right.
What?
How does that happen?
How can that happen? Dan, answer that.
I can't.
And that can't happen either. Being thrown out at second base when you're trailing by 6 in the 7th or any inning. Right.
I will say this in fairness to Piscotty. The last thing that he's thinking is that ball is coming back towards the infield. However, it did, and he's thrown out at second.
That's the thing you have to think about. If it's down the line, it takes nothing to go to second base. When you're running the bases, you have to think about the exceptions. When you're trailing by 6, you're paid to do that.
And with that base hit, it brings in Bader with 2 outs.
The exception was it hit the gate.
Intentional walk back in the 5th for Bader. He's also flied out to right. And a pitch in the dirt for ball 1. Two 2-0 the count. Word on Colton Wong, left the game due to lower back tightness. And a ground ball that's hit to second. Sends us to the bottom of the 7th. Time to stretch. Cardinals 30 minutes ago, so much promise in this game, and things have changed in a hurry. Scotty couldn't believe it. Baez, well, why not? 8-2. And by Academy Sports and Outdoors, for all for less. Beautiful day here at Wrigley Field. Cardinals had a 2-1 lead going into the 6th inning and now trail 8-2. Brett Cecil is into the ball game. Avila looks at a strike and we're underway in the home half of the 7th. So Chevy called to the pen. And that's out of play. 0-2. A crowd today here at Wrigley, 38,464 as the Cubs go over 3 million in attendance. 38,464. New catcher is Carson Kelly. The Cardinals cannot come back. They would go to 4 games out in the Central. 6 head-to-head meetings left with the Cubs. Tomorrow it's Michael Wacha, Kyle Hendricks, Sunday Lance Lynn, and Jose Quintana. And the 0-2 pitch. Struck him out. And a strikeout to start the bottom of the 7th. So what's on tap remaining in this series, presented by Budweiser. Michael Wacha tomorrow. Very good for whatever reason in day games. That's one that you look at. His ERA near 5 the night games. And Lance Lynn.
He's pitched as well as anybody lately.
Oh yeah.
Michael Wacha and Lance Lynn on Sunday.
Here's Schwarber. Both Jake Arrieta and Adam Wainwright will not pitch in this series, but throw bullpens tomorrow and try to get ready for the stretch run. Really the stretch run. Final couple of weeks. Arrieta's turned it around here in the second half. Been dealing with a hamstring issue. There's strike 2. Schwarber is 0 for 3, average at 207. And the 0-2 pitch. Up and in. Out of play. Billy. Here's a 1-2. See Kelly trying to bring that back in the zone.
Yeah, the problem Cecil had earlier in the season, left-handed batters.
Also strike 1.
Yeah. You go strike 1, then it's easier to get strike 2. Much easier.
Always pitching from behind. And right now that's why you see him in games like this, 6-run deficit or a 6-run lead.
To explain it, you know, hitters hit out of an imaginary box that's relatively big. I'd say kind of a box size. When the pitcher falls behind in the count, ball 1, ball 2, ball 3, that box gets progressively smaller, and hitters won't swing at it if it's not in that. It may be a strike, but it's not their strike. The importance of staying ahead cannot be overstated.
Schwarber strikes out. So back-to-back strikeouts for Brett Cecil. Reminder, Billikens night is coming up Thursday, September 28th. And get your tickets at cardinals.com/theme.
Seems like the word Billikens is as much St. Louis as the Cardinals, right?
You bet. St. Louis University High School, the Junior Billikens, and SLU, the Billikens. First pitch popped up by John Jay. The scoreless inning by Brett Cecil sends us to the 8th. Cubs and their offense against the Mets, and here today 47 runs scored in their last 4 games. They have exploded after being shut down by the Brewers in the sweep by Milwaukee. Justin Grimm is into the game. Our Chevy called to the pen. Almora Jr. takes over in center, and John Jay shifts over to left. It's a good sight. Jed Jerko. Been a long time since we've seen him. By the way, it's the first time, speaking of long times, that the Cubs have scored that many runs, 8 or more, in 4 straight games since 2004. It was late August, the 27th of August, that Jed Jerko last played in the game. He was rounding third, hurt his hamstring. That'll be one ball and 1 strike. Here's a 1-1 pitch now to Jerko. The idea would be he'd be a late inning threat, gets on base, and then maybe a Magneuris Sierra comes in and pinch runs for Jed. Spots like these. 2-1 to count. Two and 2. The tough part this late in the season, you get hurt, you come back. There's no rehab because there
that's a good point.
Aren't minor league games.
Yeah, right. Can't be any rehab unless you go and play in your backyard somewhere.
2-2.
It's not exactly game situations.
It's not ideal.
No.
Backyard and your 6-year-old's pitching to you instead of Justin Grimm at a packed Wrigley Field. The pennant race. A little different.
Yeah. Sometimes those hamstrings prevent the full swing also.
Three and 2. Out of play. Yeah, sometimes you see guys, they just pick up that leg and drop it right down, right where it came from. There's no extension, no.
Or Willie Mays. Willie Mays used to take batting practice flat-footed. He wouldn't stride ever, and that kept his stride within range when he had a stride. Makes a lot of sense.
3-2.
I didn't like him, Branch Rickey, but I'll tell you one thing, he made a lot of sense about a lot of things. Quiet hands he used to talk about. Very important. Quiet hands and 3 little words, a good ball. He'd wear you out with it.
Strikeout of Jerko to start the 8th. This copyrighted telecast is presented by the authority of the St. Louis Cardinals and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. And the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Cardinals. Right now, of concern for St. Louis is getting Wong back in the lineup potentially tomorrow afternoon. One of their issues.
Sleep in November.
A lot of truth to that. A strike to Carpenter.
A lot of people using that weight room as an excuse for a lot of the injuries in Major League Baseball, and I think there's at least some truth to that. Isometrics, the lack of isometrics, the lack of stretching along with the strength. I think everybody in baseball is all for the strength. That's fine. But you've got to mix the isometrics in with it. And to me, not enough players do that.
Two and one.
Can't make the club in the tub.
And that'll be Baez. The fact that he even made that close. Wow.
Yeah, as a matter of fact, if the throw's on line, he's out. But Carpenter, a base hit, wide throw, the catcher Avila backing it up. Just not that easy, folks. Not designed to be that easy. But he sure makes it look that way.
There's Tommy Pham. Nissan drive of the game all the way back in the first, the second batter of this ball game, and Tommy Pham with a home run.
You know, it's funny. Earlier we were talking about the fact that Ben Zobrist, that Baez was in that position, but that we thought he should be covering the middle, and Zobrist should be over there. But Joe Madden does not employ it like that, and certainly then it worked for Baez and the Cubs. Almost.
Congratulations to Amber and Oliver Marmol. Ollie Marmol, the first base coach of the Cardinals. Daughter Riley Nicole Marmol, born today, and their first child. Everybody's healthy and good. Congratulations.
Beautiful name, Riley Nicole Marmol. Beautiful.
2 balls and 1 strike. Pham, the home run, solo shot, walk in the 4th, was caught stealing and popped out to second. Two 2-1 pitch. Two and two. Talk to the hitters about the shadows that do come into play. That'll be a factor tomorrow with the later start.
3 o'clock start.
A strikeout of Pham. State Farm perfect pair. Paul DeYoung defensively up the middle. We saw defense early on in this game. Both Baez and DeYoung at shortstop. State Farm perfect pair. So 2 outs and a runner at first. And DeYoung deep in the hole, it's short. It's safe at second.
Now Baez may be hurt and might have been caused from the spin to the right instead of him spinning to the left. He may have fallen on the glove hand. We'll see. Made the play, and then instead of spinning on the right leg to his left, he spun on his right. And that could be a factor.
He's having trouble getting the glove off the hand.
Yes.
You could hear the collective "oh no" when he went down.
See, turning to his right and now throwing from one knee. But I think the damage happened on the grab. like he caught it and then he caught it again. Maybe the body came down on it. We've seen outfielders pursuing fly balls that are down and having the glove curl underneath with that thumb problem. Perhaps. Unless it's broken, it's not going to affect his fielding, but it certainly could affect his hitting. Or maybe his fielding too. I don't know. Looks like he's holding that that left thumb. Here's the first time. Watch it. It's kind of, he lands twice. Once there. I think that's where the damage was done. Now there. Now trying to get up. Still made a valiant effort going to his right, but a base hit for Paul DeYoung.
Pitching change. We'll tell you about that change when we come back. Chevy called to the pen. It's 8-2. On what should have been a called third strike on Carlos Martinez. Next pitch, base hit. Watch John Lackey. And then this. Honest question for you.
All right. What are your others? Dishonest?
Good point. It's an eye towards honesty on this one.
All right, give it to me, brother.
So, by our estimation, with Lackey charging at Jordan Baker, he threw him out as the play is going on. Right?
Right.
What happened?
Could the game be played under protest?
That. And what happens if the ball gets past the catcher and John Lackey's backing up, but he's been thrown out of the game? Just thinking outside the box.
That is thinking outside the box. I don't know how to respond to that, and I'm not answering that because I don't know the answer. I have no clue.
Well, you need to find out. You're the analyst.
That's not in my job description.
You
as
need
the
to find
analyst
out
for this telecast.
Wade Davis is into the game. He has not pitched since Sunday, so needs a little work.
Or say John Lackey fields the ball and tags the runner.
That's my point. What do you do then? He's out of the game.
I don't know. I think that's a tantalizing question.
Yeah.
Moral of the story is umpires should wait until the play is over for them to eject someone.
That's the moral of the story. 2-1 the count on Martinez with 2 runners on and 2 outs here in the top of the 8th. That was a good point. My questions usually are truthful and honest.
Well, I mean, it had to be the most disguised run. He was good enough. All right, fellas.
All right, fellas, you're out here.
All right, keep it moving, fellas.
All right, Lackey, hit the showers. And the base is loaded.
Harrison Bader with 3 home runs, chance for his first grand slam. I beg your pardon, it's Carson Kelly. Chance for his first grand slam. There you go.
Joe Madness talked about with Wade Davis, essentially the training wheels are off, if you will. He's had a great year, but they've been so cautious with him because of previous injuries. He hasn't gone more than an inning. So now in the stretch run, he has said it's that time of year. We've got to push him multiple innings. We will.
A tough assignment for Carson Kelly. You're right about Davis. You were talking about that before the game. And here's a chance for Wade to perhaps pitch through the 9th inning.
Here's a 1-1. 2 balls and a strike.
In many ways, it's easier to hit when you're 6 or 7 runs down late. The reason for that is when you fall behind in the count, when a pitcher does, the pitch is going to be predictable, much more predictable than in a close game. He'll get a fastball here.
2-1 pitch. 2-2.
That was hittable. That was hittable. You said good cut when I went ooh.
We both saw the same thing.
We did.
3-2.
Again, predictable pitch. You're leading by 6. Davis, a long-term pro. No way he's throwing anything but a fastball.
Popped up. On a play.
The wind helps in many ways in this ballpark. There are very few foul balls that are fouled in that home plate area that stay in the ballpark.
See Avila, the catcher, he waited until that ball found a fan before he gave up on it.
Oh yeah, yeah. It's tricky.
3-2 again. Kelly with a high fly ball out to center. Stays in the ballpark. Moore with the catch. Comes on top. to you by Bud Light, famous among friends. And by Ford, the official cars and trucks of the St. Louis Cardinals. Eight to 2 our score in the bottom of the 8th. Here in Chicago, Cubs on top. Sandy Alcantara, our Chevy call to the pen. Hard throwing right-hander, making the jump from Double-A here to the big leagues. Young man can bring it.
Got the great baseball muscles, those long and lean, kind of like Carl Edwards Jr.
Yeah.
Built similarly.
Good call. A little bit taller, but yeah, same body.
Great shot.
A long day. Hayward on the first pitch, ready for that fastball, and turns on a 99-mile-an-hour pitch.
Yeah, I think that 7-run sixth got that young man.
Oh, yeah.
Or young lady. Baby.
Here's the 0-1. 0-2.
Made a statement last inning. I think it applies. Easier to hit when you're way behind because the pitches are more predictable. It's also tougher to hit in September because you're facing new guys all the time. New, young, hard throwers, nothing to lose. Don't know them.
Next game tomorrow, 2:30. Michael Wacha going for the Cardinals in game 2. And the 1-2 struck him out. Cardinals think this young man is special. Helps when you throw 99 consistently to 101.
Yeah, that's getting to be the gauge now.
Yeah.
Dan, you know, they're not signing young guys unless they reach 97, 98 power arms, and the scouts are befuddled because they can't find the power bats.
Be interesting to see Baez swing the bat in this plate appearance after what looked to be a thumb issue that he had in that ground ball.
Yeah, that'll tell you whether it's sprained or not.
Baez, that would be his bottom hand.
That hurt him right there.
Sure did.
This is a major concern to the Cubs. This guy is an invaluable piece of their winning baseball.
Here's a 1-1. It's not right.
Joe Maddon's thinking about taking him out right now instead of some insignificant swing. Why not?
Makes you wonder who would be up after Baez potentially to play shortstop. Remember, Russell is out.
Those are 3 disturbing swings by Baez. You're right. That's an interesting point. But Russell's not coming back. If you put Happ there, you're putting Happ can play different positions, but shortstop's not one of them.
Ooh, that is something to consider going forward.
Yes, sir.
And speaking of Happ, here he is. Triple digits on that pitch. And the 1-0. Long term, the Cardinals look at Alcantara being a starter. And here in 2017, up with the big league club, getting his feet wet in the major leagues, out of the pen. 1-0-1 on the gun. What do you think? Would you enjoy catching a guy like this, throwing this hard?
Yeah.
Control it. Strikes out this side. 1-0-1 again. John Cusack in attendance today. Cubs on top. Scored top of the ninth. And the batter will be Piscotty. I think of concern again for the Cubs. Obviously a big win. This will push the Cardinals 4 out, but Javi Baez and the issues that it may have even defensively, we don't know.
Yeah. You know, as a possible solution, not that we're up here trying to solve those, Jed Hoyer and Cleo Epstein are, yeah.
Theo,
right. What do I call him? Cleo?
Yeah.
Got him in. Not Cleo. I knew it was EO.
It works.
Theo. Sorry, Theo. That's their job, to put together a shortstop. Because you can't trade for one now.
Nope.
Can't bring one up because they're not eligible for postseason play. If you get anybody, there's Jed Hoyer, assistant general manager, or I guess he's the GM with Theo, the president. It would be a real problem. Of course, everybody's thinking, well, the Cubs going to have to get there first, and that could possibly happen if they fold like a Samsonite here in the waning weeks.
Piscotty with a high fly ball into right. Hayward with the catch. I think what's interesting too is that you have Wade Davis at 17 pitches. And you know, he's able to get a little work there in the 8th. And you just wonder, well, is that enough for a guy that you've been so careful with if you have to bring him back again tomorrow or potentially on Sunday?
Now, tomorrow becomes a little less crucial for the Cubs because of today.
It's a good point.
Unless the Cardinals can come back and overcome a 6-run deficit.
Slowly in towards second. 2 outs. Our Budweiser player of the game, Chris Bryant. We talked about it initially. He had struggled against the Cardinals coming into play today, but not this afternoon. 3 for 4, solo home run, couple of singles, and 2 RBIs.
That's why you got to really be careful, and we try to be in bringing you all the statistics, but you got to be careful about what's happened, you know, earlier in the year, because these players aren't necessarily what they were earlier in the year.
6 months is a long time.
Yeah.
A lot changes. You think about how a bullpen changes over the course of a year.
Yeah. Yeah, who played the first game of the season? The Cubs and the Cardinals.
Here's a 1-0. 1 ball, 1 strike on Harrison Bader. Two balls and 1 strike. Two and two. Fly ball into right, tailing towards the crowd and out of play. Again, the reminder that tomorrow's game on Fox Sports Midwest at 2:30. Michael Wacha, Kyle Hendricks. Two. He's been hearing it all day. Why stop now?
No, yeah.
Take game 1 by the final of 8-2. St. Louis 4 games out in the Central.